Welcome back to another video. If you're new here, my name is Rico. I'm a self-taught developer. Wait, I don't think I ever gave you guys my self-taught developer journey. So in this video, that's what I'm going to do. And if you would like to hear the one key skill I think that makes a developer or an engineer great at what they do, stick to the end of the video. And I'm going to tell you guys how I got into development, how I got into IT basically. I'm a self-taught developer, self-taught IT person. But yeah, I'll tell you guys about my story. But first, today I'm going to go to the barber and get a haircut. I usually don't go to the barber, I usually cut my hair myself. But today, I want to get it professionally done so I can be looking, you know, I get a haircut and then we can dig into that self-taught developer journey. Got done with that haircut. I think I'm looking pretty good, pretty fresh. I think now what I'm gonna do is go and get a coffee. I'm gonna try this thing for the first time, a flat white. I've been watching Jacob Sucks at Code, his channel for it, but it's pretty good. You guys should go check it out. And he always orders this flat white, and I've always been curious of what it is. Let's go try it out, and then we'll head down home. It's like an hour drive back home. Yep, I drove that far just to get a haircut. And then we can get into this self-taught developer journey. Hi, how are you? Good. Can I get a flat white? Yeah. Got it. Let's try it. That's pretty good. All right, so we're home now. Decided to sit in the backyard and record this one because it's such a beautiful day. Nice. And did I start? Where did I begin? So growing up, coding and being a developer was the furthest thing on my mind. I never thought I would be able to do it because to me, coding was like the Matrix. After seeing that scene in the Matrix where you would see that the black screen with the green writing, like the binary numbers going up and down, and to me, that's what I thought coding was, right? And I was like, oh hell no, I'll never be able to do that. So like, that was out of the question for me, but I knew I always wanted to be an engineer, right? And I didn't know what kind of engineer, but I just knew I wanted that engineer title. So over the years, I did different types of jobs. Before I actually got into tech, I was working on a tugboat. I first worked as a deckhand on the tugboat, and then I quickly worked my way up to the engine room attendant. So the engine room attendant was in charge of everything mechanically on the boat. So the engine room attendant title was just a title they gave us instead of giving the chief engineer title. So that's what I did for a few years. And I liked that job, but what I didn't like about it is that you would be gone from home weeks and months at a time. And I didn't like that part of it because thinking further out, when I wanted to start my family, I didn't want to have to be gone away from them for those extended period of time. So I knew that I had to make a change and I needed to find something else that would keep me close to my family. Ugh, mosquitoes, man, damn. Move, man. Yeah, so that's when I started to look around and see what else can I do? Like, what do I like doing? What can I see myself doing for a long period of time and actually enjoy it? That's when I started to look into tech. Like, I always liked tech. I always liked fooling around with phones and computers. Like I would change the screen, change the motherboard, change the hard drive on some laptops. But I never did it as a job. I just did it out of necessity. Like I broke something and I needed to fix it. So that's when I started to look into tech. And then I was like, you know what? I can do this. And I started looking into being a network engineer. And luckily that you didn't really need a 4-year degree to do that. You just needed some experience and certification. And so that's what I did. I studied for my Cisco certification. I got my 3 Cisco routers, 3 Cisco switches, some IP phones. For my Cisco certification, I got that and left the tugboat and started working as a system/networking admin. Did that for quite some time, and then there wasn't like a lot of growth in the Bahamas for, at least from when I was doing it, I didn't see any. And I decided that I need to leave the Bahamas and pursue my career like outside of the Bahamas, whether it be in the US or here in Canada. Before I even did that, I started working at a company where an old colleague of mine introduced me to web development. And that's the first time I actually got to see code and what it actually is, and not that binary numbers that I saw in the Matrix. And so he showed me this website that he built, and he showed me the HTML and CSS. I was like, "Man, this doesn't look so hard." And so yeah, that was my first experience of actually seeing real code and seeing what it can do. And from there, just like opened my mind up to what coding actually is. And from there, I started to learn from him. He gave me some resources like Udemy. So he was learning how to code through University of the People. But I didn't want to do that. Like, I didn't want to go to schooling basically. And I was used to using Udemy, and that's where I learned everything for networking and IT really on Udemy. And so I went there, looked at web development courses, found the one from Cold Steel, which was the best in my opinion. So I did that, learned how to code, learned how to build websites. Actually built my first website well, a few years ago. I posted it on my LinkedIn as like the first project that I ever built. And from there, I decided that I want to leave in the Bahamas, and so I guess I said I should go to school just so that I can get a better handle on what coding is and learn more. Like, because I didn't know anything about data structures and algorithms, and I figured going to school would help me to learn that better, like keep me focused so that I would have like a structured path on learning how to code. And so I did that. I came here to Canada, I went to college, and then I quickly realized that I don't want to be in school, right? I didn't want to do it anymore because what they were teaching me, I already knew, and it was just feeling like it was taking up a lot of my time. And so that's what I left school alone and just said I would just do it on my own. So I just built projects, and just continued to watch a lot of YouTube videos on what software engineering is and things that you need to know and how to pass interviews, how to fix your resume and these type of things. So I did all of that. And then I started applying to jobs. I applied to a few jobs, got some responses back, but didn't really land anything because I wasn't a permanent resident yet for like the ones that actually replied to me. They wanted someone that was already a permanent resident. So that was kind of disheartening. That had me a bit sad, and I was like, you know what, I can't find a job. I'm just gonna build my own startup. I figured that's what I would do. But before I even got into that, one of the job applications that I had applied for, they actually reached out to me, and I basically went through the whole interviewing process, and that's where I landed my first web development job at a blockchain startup. Did that for almost 2 years, yeah, and that's basically how I got into software development. Because of a friend, a whole coworker, he showed me what it was, and I just took it from there and just ran with it, really. And this is where I am at now, working on my own startup with 2 co-founders, building something that we enjoy building and we think is going to be successful, really. So that's my journey from being a deckhand on a tugboat to building a startup. Some key characteristics I think that makes a good software engineer is you have to be good at solving problems, or like solving problems. Like for me, I always say this to people, that people who are good with math, I find that they're usually good at coding and software engineering, not because they're particularly good at math, but because math, you have to solve a lot of problems. And solving those problems is the same thing as, like, it relates very tightly to coding, because you solve a lot of problems when you're coding. So I find people who like math or are good at math are really good at solving, but I'm not good at math, but I'm good at solving problems. And that's why I think I am where I'm at now, because I find coding is just another tool in my toolbox that I use to solve problems. So if you have a good problem solving skill, you can be a good engineer. So that's like the main thing I think to make a good engineer. Be good at solving problems. That's what I have for you today. That's my developer journey, where I started, where I'm at now. And hopefully you got some inspiration from this and know that anybody can do it, really. You just have to be willing, put in the work and the time, and you too can build projects, build stuff, and then just build cool shit. And the second characteristic that I think that what makes a good software engineer is someone who's always willing to learn and that's always learning. Because in this field, in this industry, you're going to have to keep learning, learning, and always building something on the side. Like if you're doing that, you will succeed for sure. Like no doubts about that. But if you're someone that hasn't landed that first software development job or software engineer role job, when you do land that job, you're going to have imposter syndrome. Like I think everyone gets that. Everyone faces that at some point when they first start. But just know that we've all been there. We've all felt it. I still feel it. I still feel like I'm the worst programmer, the worst coder in the world. But that doesn't stop me from trying and building stuff that I want to build. So don't let that keep you from pursuing your dreams if this is what you want to do. And I guess with that said, that's all I had to say in this video. And so thank you for watching. Subscribe and comment below where you're at in your journey. But just know it's possible. You can do it. Just got to get at it.